So as I was saying, I get a real genuine opportunity to meet him where he's at. I don't know what his story is. I'm just going to use the skills that I have to observe how he presents himself and how I think I can support him. So the first thing that I'll do is just center myself. I focus my intention so that I apply whatever I do with clarity and precision. And I open my eyes with a soft gaze. I notice his breath, and I'm going to start breathing with him. I notice that he's breathing into his belly and into his chest, so I do the same. And in this way, I get to try on his clothes for the moment and feel what it's like. And with that, I'll begin. So I place my hands, the insteps of the feet, and I apply my touch with firmness, gentleness, and joy. We begin the rocking to create a rhythm like a metronome. Each time I place my hands, I think of the intention that I'm invoking. I place my hands with clarity and precision. I'm still using the principles that we discussed: fullness in my touch, natural fit, good body mechanics, straight arms, straight back. We begin to use a new tool, the thumb, and specifically the thumb pad, thumb joint. Depending on your thumb, you may find that one is more appropriate than the other. For me, it's the thumb joint, so I create a straight line so that I stack my weight right above my thumb joint, working from the inner heel along the arch of the foot. I try to keep the rhythm even and steady, like his breath. I work towards the big toe, mound, and then I could even, if I had space, back up even further so that I could get lower to the ground to apply perpendicular pressure. I notice that his breathing has gotten deeper. It's a nice reminder to deepen my breath. So we're going to move to one side. I take a hold of the foot. I support with my left hand under the ankle, right hand under the knee. In this way, I can feel his range of movement. I can use my thigh for support here as we draw the knee towards the armpit. Stretch the leg straight. From the center, we can go towards the midline and away from the midline. And I just notice how easy it is. If there's any resistance, a little bit of rocking. Notice that I give him plenty of space so that he can open to his full range of motion. From there, I can hold the ankle, use my foot behind the knee crease, and the knee is shy of a 90-degree angle relative to the hips. Here, we use our palms once again. Catwalking on the inner thigh, I'm being sensitive first, so I feel how much pressure do I want to give. And then when I give pressure, I make sure I nest. I can feel that it's quite tender here for him, so I'm not going to go fast. I'm going to make sure I go a little slower. The clarity and precision in my touch comes from applying principles: nest and sink. What I feel under my hand helps me decide where to go. I place my right hand in one spot, make the nest. I support his opposite hip to shorten the muscle. On his exhale, I'm going to sink, and I'll just wait for it. And I can go really slow. If you remember, the mala bead helps me to know that my center of gravity, that the body weight is stacked right above the point of contact. And I stay here. And I just let my body weight sink. The more that I support him on the hip, the easier it will be for me to go deeper. Slowly I release. So a little subtle thing that you can do is just a gentle rock here. We're going to go back to a seated position. So I keep my foot where it is to keep contact. And then I bring my feet to the backs of the hamstrings. Here I'm supporting under the ankle with my right foot, right hand. And then with my left hand, I hold the straight leg. And I'm just walking. The line that I'm making with my legs, as much as possible, the geometry is that my legs are perpendicular to the thigh, so that it's a nice straight line into the muscle. I'm using the arch of the foot, not rotating in one way or the other. I'm just spreading the weight through the entire surface area of the foot. You can see that I'm using a different grip here. You're welcome to play with different holds. Primarily, we're using this as a way to feel. We're not trying to go too deep, just play. My legs are more straight than bent. As that feels complete, I'll find a creative way to stay in contact with him. And then we come back to a supported position with the hand under the knee. Here on my knees, I can move around a little bit. I'm going to kneel right next to his hip, like we did yesterday, and then step across, place his knee crease over my thigh. Here, my hands are free, so I can create space. From there, I'm going to use my left hand to create leverage, so his hip comes off the ground. I can adjust my feet and my knee so that it's easy for me to use my hip to create more traction and twist. This hand, my right hand, comes underneath and follows the movement. I can have my hand around his sacrum. The heel of my hand is in the glute. To transition into the twist, I want to have plenty of space for my knees. So my knees will land on either side of his ribs. First thing I do is swing my back foot so that I can tuck my toe under and lift my knee slightly. Second, I take my left foot, tuck the toe under, and now I'm on hands and feet. I drop the left knee to the ground and he follows. So I don't have to do anything with my hands. In this position, I can just relax I envelop my hands around him to give him a nourishing touch. I like the analogy of the anaconda. Perfect fit. To come out, this knee, the left knee will move forward towards his opposite shoulder in order to keep his leg on my leg. So, hands in front like this can help. So I really come forward, I exaggerate that, and then I'm here again. I leverage using my thigh. This hand, my right hand, comes to the quad, and I can follow the movement here. Again, the movement is perpendicular to the femur, so I'm pressing straight in. I'm not pressing up or down. To release, I bring the knee towards him, balance for a moment, and then here we are. Hip circles. I can see that his hips have shifted. So what I'm going to do is give him a little bit of traction as we did yesterday. Switching to the second side. Good support for the knee. Use your hand so that your fingers come under the knee crease, thumb on the outside. Here, we can go right into a very simple exploration and then let the knee open. I always want to give enough space so that I'm not in the way. Remember the joy. So there's clarity and precision, but there's also joy. Sometimes the rocking is the best place to invoke joy. Bloopers help too. So again, knee is shy of 90 degrees here. Nest and catwalk. I already know from the first side that this is a tender area, so I'm going to go slow. Not a lot of pressure. I already know where I'm going to go, which spot I'm going to hit for the deeper release. So I'm going to nest here. This hand comes to support the opposite hip. The movements go together, so as I sink on the exhale, I'm pulling the hip into the midline, lifting and supporting. Sometimes you'll feel the blood pulse here. You have the femoral artery that runs inside the leg, so this is also a blood stop. I can watch his breath. I can also watch his face and see. In case I were to go too deep, too fast, I might see him imitate a California raisin. It's nice to come out on an exhale as well. Pedal boat. Once you're comfortable in this position and you have the geometry, you can practice extending your right leg here, in this case my right leg, pausing and holding. As you hold, you can shift some of your weight to the knife edge of your foot. Very little, just your intention is often enough. And just a little bit will go a long way. Here I try to keep my toes relaxed so that my foot is soft. And then release and walk. Different hand positions. Hand under the knee helps me be more straightforward. Hand over the foot here gives me a better grip so that I can support his leg better, like that. So again, you want to be creative with how you support your friends. I love this position when you use the foot like a fishing rod. And I'm not lifting, I'm just pressing the knee towards his arm and armpit, and that's actually following his own range of movement. Come back towards the midline. Go ahead and take care of that. And then here we're going to lever the hip once again. Most of the attention is on my right hand pressing the top of the foot down. Secondary hand here follows the movement. So if you're on this side of me, you'll see that I'm following the movement and pressing in and up, scooping. The twist, when you get happy with it, doesn't take much time. You're here. And then we come back. Lever and gentle pressure on the quad to traction the hip. So good, right? Sometimes it feels like you receive a little bit when you're just watching. As we come out, I'm going to observe the difference. So we're going to see how this feels. Range of movement. Very nice. Remember, opportunity here is to pull the skin away, squeeze, and then draw it towards you when we do the traction to avoid skin burn. Technology. We finish at the feet. This is a great time for me to relax, for me to come into a natural state of fullness, so that as much as possible, I can offer joy from a place of fullness. From a place of effortlessness. Okay. Thank you.